What up, y'all? It's Rick. Hope y'all been doing good. Today, we're gonna make crawfish stew. One of my favorite dishes. Again, like a lot of things we're gonna cook, something I grew up eating, something I cook a lot at work, something I cook a lot at home. It's great, I absolutely love it, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. And it's simple, nothing to it. So, we'll go through some of these ingredients. I got the Trinity. Here's a shitload. I just kind of was going nuts with the chopping. We ain't using all that. We might just use like 4 cups. Garlic. I got 3/4 of a cup of vegetable oil here. I have 1 cup of flour here. Salt in the tub. Black pepper, cayenne pepper, parsley, bay leaves, Lee & Perrins Worcestershire, Crystal hot sauce. Use the hot sauce you like. This is what I like. We're gonna slap some Rotel in there as well. Typically, I would use a Zatarain's liquid boil, but like a jackass, I forgot to get it. But luckily, I have this homegrown Thibodeau product, Chack Bay seasoning, so I'm just gonna put a little pinch of that in there. And we got a lemon. Everybody knows the lemon. Eggs, boiled eggs. And I got some green onions here. Ooh. And so we want to talk about the crawfish real quick. So this Cajun certified, that's what you want. And you gotta watch. You always want to look and see where this shit's coming from. All right, Ville Platte, Louisiana, perfect. That's what you want. Now, you may see this on the shelf for half the price. Bernard's. Let's see, what are we talking here? Bernard's brand crawfish tails. But, and Bernard is a popular last name in Louisiana, product of China. Don't use this shit. What happens is, when you cook with it, you know, it might have some funk on it. It ain't gonna be all that great. And then when you cook it, it's gonna turn black. So I just bought that just to show you that this is not what you want. I'm gonna give this to one of my trusty employees, and he'll do something nice with it and feed his family. So don't buy that. It's no good. Again, certified Cajun. And just make sure it's coming from Louisiana. And I'm sure there's good crawfish in the South and other states. Just make sure it's coming locally and that it's something that you trust to use. But the foreign product, it's no good. It's no good. All right, so, and also I have a seafood stock that you can't see on camera that smells so fucking great right now. Oh, it's wonderful. So a couple things. We're gonna make a roux. And so a roux, we got oil and flour. So essentially, we're just gonna get the oil hot, and we're gonna brown the flour in the oil. And so, a few things. Hold on, let me grab some. So a few things that take something like this, a stew or a gumbo that takes people a long time, is making the roux. Now, making a roux should not take an hour. I watched the video. I mean, lovely couple, older couple. I mean, it took them all fucking day to make gumbo. I mean, literally, all day, hours to make the roux. And I guess the joke around here is it takes a 6-pack of beer to make a roux. Well, we ain't got time for that. And you maybe, if you can see it in the camera, I'm starting to smoke here. I can see the oil smoking. And that's what you want. You want the oil hot, and it is hot. And that's great. This is just gonna take a couple minutes. I think the things that take stews and gumbos so long, you know, to be completed is how long it takes you to make the roux, then how long it takes you to get your liquid in and, you know, get it to a simmer. And so what I have here, my oil is slapping hot, and I have my stock, which is also hot. So the time it's going to take me to make the roux, throw the vegetables in, cook those down for about 10 minutes, and then put the hot stock in and get the simmer cracking, it's going to be minimal. And that's what you want, you know, because once you have it simmering, it's going to take an hour. There's no shortcuts when it comes to stews or gumbos, you know, for when it's ready. And the same thing, I saw another video, you know, it took them all freaking day to make the roux, and then they put the liquid in, and then started to simmer, and then they started adding all that shit into it. And then they felt like they was eating like immediately. Like, no, it's paramount. You have to cook it at least 1 hour. Simmer 1 hour. Stews, gumbos, shrimp, crawfish, seafood gumbo, chicken stew, whatever the case may be. That's very important, because you got to cook the flour taste out. If you don't get that flour taste out, your stew, your gumbo is going to taste like ass, and nobody wants to eat that. So we ain't doing that. 2 tools. I like to use a whisk immediately, just to make sure I get all the flour mixed up properly. And then I get rid of this, go with the spoon to make sure I cover everything, because it's going to stick and it wants to burn, I guess, essentially. And you want to be able to cover everything. So to be able to have that area to scrape everything around is what you want. And again, I got my stock. It's hot. You can't see it. You'll see it shortly. But look, this is going to take no time at all. Especially this little baby ass roux that I'm making. This is my home roux. I make this all the time. You know, for 1 pound of crawfish, you know, for shrimp, chicken, stew, whatever, the same thing. This is what I do. And I don't know, can you see it? Can you see the steam? Oh, that shit is hot. So, I think we can begin. And look, hot oil might scare you a little bit. I work in a restaurant. I've been working in restaurants all my life. I've got burns and scars. When you get a roux burn, be proud of that shit. Be like, look, I made the best goddamn gumbo, and look at the fucking scar to prove it. Fuck yeah. Be proud of that shit. So, let's rip. We ready? Flour going in. And now this is instantly browning. And look, if you're not comfortable with this, take your time, drink your 6-pack, drink you some wine, have you some cocktails, whatever. But I'm just gonna show you that it don't take all fucking day to make a roux. And I feel like I'm pussyfooting a bit here. I could be a little further ahead of the game. But now, my flour is mixed. Everything is mixed. I know it's mixed. And also, one thing I'll say, get rid of that. Spoon coming in. And so now I can get everything here with this. And I'm just gonna go around, stir. Once you start the roux, you don't leave it. Unless you're cooking it on super low and you intend on, I don't know, avoiding something that you should be doing, perhaps. You're like, well, I'm making a roux, it's gonna take all fucking day. You know, whatever it is. But it's paramount to have all your shit ready to roll. All your Trinity, everything ready. Because you can't, once you're going, like, that's it. Once you start the roux, that's the prime objection. There's nothing else more important. And see, we're brown. I mean, it's been seconds. It has literally been seconds, and we are brown. Spin that around, make sure I can get all these other little corners, which I guess a pot doesn't have a corner. Silly goose. So, I mean, you can check on the timer if you really want to, but I don't even think it's been a minute yet. And this roux is pretty much done. And I just spin the pot just to make sure I catch all the other corner angles. What the hell is it? Who knows? But look at this. All right. This is done. This is pretty much done. 1 minute. I've made roux up to 2 gallons of oil, 2 gallons of flour for gumbo. And I can knock that shit out in like 12 minutes. So here we are. I am a professional, so, and I'm from the bayou. This shit is in my blood. Okay. Like instant grits. Instant roux. Look at that. Can you see it? Son of a bitch. Bad camera angle. Get in there, baby. So let's look at this. I mean, that's dark as shit. It took 1 minute. And that's what I want. Now let me set you back down, slow you back, and we're gonna go in with the Trinity. Again, why it's so important to have that ready. And I'm just putting like 4 cups, roughly. It doesn't matter. You like veg, slap it in there, knock yourself out. So you wanna get this mixed really well. I cut the temperature down. So now from here, we just want to cook this about 10 minutes. And again, you're going to cook this for an hour. You're going to simmer this for an hour. So, you know, your vegetable is going to be tender no matter what. So this ain't a big deal. But, I mean, so damn. I just had a sip of a beverage. I didn't even have a 6-pack. And so now that cut out so much time. My stock is here. Seafood stock. And I'm telling you, that is what's gonna make, that's what elevates a dish, you know, from something that could be good to something that is astronomical. And that's what the stock does. And perhaps we'll make a video on that. It's super simple. I mean, there's nothing to it. So pretty much, I got some whole shrimp, whole Louisiana shrimp. Peeled them, I saved the shrimp, and we're gonna make something nice with those shrimp that I saved. And then you just put them in a pot. Celery, onions, carrots, bay leaves, peppercorns, if you got them. Put it in there and you roll it for an hour. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. But the flavor, the heads of the shrimp produce so much flavor. I mean, there's nothing that compares to it. So we ripping that. Let's go in with a little garlic. And again, I don't like chopping garlic. I use diced shit. So we're cruising. We are cruising at this point. I guess I could talk some shit for 10 minutes. So, like I said, stew is something that I grew up eating. Like a lot of things we're gonna cook. And, you know, some of the best things, you know, when you, especially during season, you know, it's crawfish season. You boil a shitload of crawfish, and then you have some extra. You peel them all, and then you make stew with it. and it's great. Especially when you have that, you know, that crawfish boil flavor on the crawfish already. that's just going to be an intense flavor. But we don't have that, so that's why we're going to use our local Thibodeau-based crawfish crab boil seasoning. Woo! That'll put some hair on your chest now. And I love this dish. This is probably my absolute favorite dish to eat. I love a good ribeye, I'll tell you that. And I love all Southern food, soul food, you know, Cajun food. I love it all. But this is probably my favorite dish. Rice, put this on there, a bean of some sort, some potato salad. Man, I'm happy as hell. I'll tell you that. And we're gonna be happy as hell today. That's going. Alright. How about we take a little beverage break? Alright, y'all. It's been about 10 minutes. So now I'm gonna go in with the hot sauce from Worcestershire. And you wanna add this now. God damn, got a nipple on this thing? Maybe a couple tablespoons. Then maybe like a tablespoon of Worcestershire. You want to add that now. You want to get that flavor rolling. You add it later, it's going to taste completely different. And by the way, it smells freaking great in here. Okay, I'm just gonna let that roll like a minute or so. Ain't no real time schedule on that. Just want to get it incorporated. I can smell it and I know that it's doing its thing. All right, so now I'm gonna add the seafood stock, and it's hot. So it's ready to roll. One thing with stock, when you make it, it's gonna have like some sediments that will sit to the bottom. So you wanna stir that shit around. You wanna get all that incorporated. You wanna pour all the light, the light beer, the light stock. You don't wanna pour all the water. It's not water, but you wanna mix the shit up. Let's just be honest. Just mix the shit up, because the shit settles on the bottom. The shit on the bottom is super flavorful. Love the camera. Stock going in. See that? Clean. If I didn't mix it, you would have all kind of good bits down there that you would want. But we did it right, because we've done this a bazillion times. Okay. So now, we are cruising. So, it's been, what, 11 minutes? And so now, I like to season it before it starts to simmer, before it starts to bubble. Then I feel like I can really determine what I'm putting in there. Because if it's rolling, you throwing shit in there, you don't know what the fuck you're putting in there if you're not measuring shit. So, while it's nice and still, salt going in, maybe like 2 teaspoons, pepper, maybe like a 1/4 teaspoon cayenne, just a smidge. A bump, literally a bump. And then a little bit of this, again, Thibodeau native. Thibodeau hometown grown chat-based seasoning. Let's put a little bit, because look, this shit goes a long way. I don't know if you ever had boiled crawfish before from Louisiana or in the South. That shit'll light you up. And even if I use the liquid, I just put a little bump in it, especially for a little batch like this. Now, we're gonna go in with some lemon zest. And look, I seen a famous French chef. He said if you zest your lemon a certain way and this and that, you know. Look, if you want to zest your lemon like that, you want to zest your lemon like this, zest your lemon the way you want. Cooking, that's why cooking is great. A French chef will come out and say, look, hey, look, you're doing it wrong. You're a jackass. Perhaps you need to do it like this. Well, you know, fuck off with that. Zest your fucking lemon the way you want. And that's how we zested it. Well, I zested it both ways. And I want to get those extra little bits. We're going to get rid of that. And I want half of the juice in there. So half a lemon. So the zest of one whole lemon and the juice of half a lemon. And I'm gonna save that other half a lemon for something on another video that I hope y'all will watch. Okay. Salt, pepper have been added. That's done. Hot sauce is done. All right. Shack Bay seasoning. Thank you. Now, let's go in with a little bay leaves. I'll probably just put, you know, maybe, dang. Man, my jump shot has been off. Can't buy a bucket. All right, get in there. And again, I like to use whole bay leaves. All these little crack-a-jack ones I'll use for stock. That's done. Get rid of that. So we're gonna go in with some rotel. And rotel is just tomatoes and chilies. But it's also gonna add a little pep to the situation. And we're gonna put the whole can. I believe this is 10 ounces, 10 ounces. And there are other brands that you can use. You know, Rouse's makes a brand, I'll use it from time to time. But, you know, it's good, it's good. And it adds a depth of flavor that you want. All right, so, we got everything in there. So the camera says 7 minutes plus however many minutes. I'm kind of pussyfooting here. I don't have it ripping. So we'll say it's taking me 15 minutes to get to where we start the timer of 1 hour. I mean, that saves so much time when you're making something like this, when you're making gumbo. Gumbo's the same thing. So I'll say that, you know, the difference between a stew and a gumbo is just the amount of liquid you put in it. It's pretty much the same shit. And people cook things, you know, they put this, they put that. I mean, it's the same thing. I'm tempted to throw a ham hock in there, but I don't normally do that, so we won't. Plus, this is just straight seafood. This isn't no chicken, no sausage, you know, none of that. This is beautiful as it is. And really, once you get to this point, and we'll be simmering here in about 20 seconds. Once you get to that point, set the clock for 1 hour. It has to be done. You gotta simmer it for at least an hour. There's no shortcuts for this part. So that's why I think it's, you know, working at a restaurant with limited equipment, you kind of got to get the shit on, get it off, so you can get something else on that type of situation. So here we are. So now we're starting to simmer, and I'm setting my clock to 1 hour. And then once we get there, we'll taste it, adjust the seasoning. I'm confident that it is legit just as it is. And then we'll add the crawfish. We'll cook that for a couple minutes, and then we'll add the eggs. And the eggs, back in the day, I think, you know, were just kind of to stretch it, you know, to make more of it. Eggs were very common, very easy to get a hold of, which crawfish was back in the day. A lot of my family, that's what they did for a living, catch crawfish. And so crawfish was abundant. And again, this is something I love, one of my favorite deals. I love to cook it, I love to eat it. I just love it all the way around. And I think you should try it too. And if you don't have some of the things, you know, like the Jack Bay, you know, crawfish ball. I mean, that's not something I would typically use. But if you don't have it, don't worry about it. If you don't have the stock, don't worry about it. Just add water to the shit, add the other shit, and then throw the crawfish in there. And I'm telling you, you will be happy. This will satisfy you. And this will feed the whole family. Numerous people. And now we're rolling. All right. So we're gonna take a little commercial break. All right, y'all, it's been about 30 minutes. We are looking good. Smells fucking great in here. So we're gonna let it go another 30 minutes, but again, and look, I'm not trying to offend anybody by, you know, saying Chinese crawfish ain't worth the shit. That's definitely not my, you know, situation here. This is like $8, and this is $16. And so I'll say the reason why that is, you know, when you live in a, you know, a prevalent place that has something that people want, distributors can make more money selling it elsewhere. And so that's going to jack up the prices on the locals, you know, in the area, which kind of sucks. You know, like Louisiana, shrimp, crabs, oysters, crawfish, like, I mean, we have great seafood here. And so what happens when you have a situation like that, you know, people everywhere else, they want to have that. And so the distributors can charge the shit out of them to send it there, and then the locals will have to pay more in the same sense. And it's kind of similar to like Florida, grouper, the fish. Beautiful fish, probably one of my favorite fish out there. White, beautiful, flaky fish. They got to pay out the ass for it because they can make way more money, distributors, sending it elsewhere because it has, you know, people want it. There's a need for it. And so that's kind of the deal there. But always I would say, you know, buy local. Use local shit. Local shit's gonna be great, especially if you're in a great place, you know, like Louisiana, in the South, anywhere, Florida. I mean, we have great product. Use it. And again, no offense to this. This channel, I ain't trying to piss nobody off. I'm sure in the comments, y'all gonna be one way or another. I haven't uploaded any videos yet, so I'll give you a little sneak peek here. I'm filming this on, let's see, September 27th. I haven't uploaded a single video yet. But I think on October 6th, I'm going to upload videos, and we'll see. I know there are people that'll contradict what I say, whatever the case may be. But look, I'm just trying to teach. We trying to have a good time. We trying to eat good. I'm trying to feed the family. That's what we trying to do here. We ain't trying to piss nobody off, but I'm sure I will. But it's all good. It's all love here. That's what we do. All love. Commercial break. All right, y'all. We've been ripping. We're about at 1 hour. So now, stir this around a little bit. Stew is looking great. Smells fucking wonderful. And so at this point, you can taste. And I suggest taste the whole way through, but that's fucking great. But you need the hour to get rid of the flour taste. And we've done that. And now it's crawfish time. And this would be the same with any kind of protein. You make shrimp stew. Dang, son. Shrimp stew is something I also very much enjoy. Crawfish going in. Louisiana crawfish going in. And look, I want to squeeze all them juices out of there. Again, waste nothing. We don't waste anything. We squeeze all them juices out of there. Let's see, let's stir this around a little bit. And now, adding the crawfish is going to be like a flavor bomb upon what we've already established. I mean, the seafood stock is wonderful. And again, you're making a pedestrian crawfish stew, which is great, and there's nothing wrong with that. Or do you want to make the ultimate crawfish stew, which we are doing now? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And so now we can go in with the greenery and the eggs. And so what are we doing with these eggs? Again, like I said, these were fillers back in the day. I know my dad and his family, there are a ton of siblings. And so you go catch some crawfish, which they did, and then chickens they had, and so you just throw a couple eggs in there, add some fillers. I mean, times were different back then. I mean, there were stores and shit, but you go to the store and this and that, but they caught everything. They did everything. They cooked everything. They raised chickens. Like, all that stuff was like, you know, growing onions and everything. Like, everything was grown and caught. Nothing was from the store, which is amazing and a beautiful thing. And, you know, I'm so proud of that. I remember being a young boy and Very young, very young. My great grandma, parsley going in. Hold on now. Parsley going in. I just remember being very young and there were chickens everywhere and she was in a pirogue. Google pirogue and y'all let me know what that is. A pirogue. Catching fish. You know, it was just a different time then. Different everything. Where you lived off the land. And luckily, I guess old enough now, old enough then, to where that wasn't the case. We didn't have to catch what we needed or do. We can go to the store. We can get what we need. But anyway, I'm very proud of where I come from. I'm very proud of my people. I'm very proud of Louisiana. And this is going to be done in about 20 minutes. And it's fucking great. And I hope you make it. You definitely won't be disappointed. And we're going to close this thing out with a plate here shortly. Commercial break. And there it is, y'all. Finished product. So great. I can't wait to dive into this. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one. And again, the potato salad. Check the next video. I'll show you how to do that too. Very simple, very easy. Catch y'all on the next one. Later.